So let's look at another example involving the Jefferson method. So this one involves a health club instructor has a course load that allows her to teach five two-credit hour classes. A pre-registration survey indicates that the following are interested. So the following interests. So 59 people would like to take Pilates, 27 want to take kickboxing, 16 want to take yoga, and two want to take spinning. So we want to use the Jefferson method to assign the number of classes to each area. So right now it looks like she needs more Pilates classes than anything. Not much in spinning. Spinning may not make, there may not be enough interest in spinning, but kickboxing looks interesting and yoga, possibly. 16 students looks possible. So right now it looks like, I'm seeing like 2, 1, 1, 0, just based on what I'm seeing there. But we do have five classes. So where does this fifth class go? So let's see where this takes us. So again, in the Jefferson's method, we still need to create what's called the standard divisor. So to find the standard divisor, we need the whole population, the total population. So I'm just going to say total P there. And and we're going to divide that into, looks like five classes. So five classes here. This is going to give us our standard divisor. Now the total population, we still got some math to do because we have to add up all the people interested. So let me do that real quick here. Looks like 16 plus 2 is 18, so that looks okay. So I have 104 in the population, and we're going to divide them into classes, if you will. So if we divide that by 5, we're picking up on our standard divisor. Looks like it's 20.8. Now, we want to kind of modify our divisor. So let's go ahead and round it down to 20 to start with, because it usually has to be rounded anyway. So let's just round it down to 20. So now let's go to the Pilates, and we want to do 59 divided by 20, 59. So 59 divided by 20 gives us 2.95. But remember, we have to round this down, so this is going to turn into 2. So 3 classes almost made. The next thing is the kickboxing. So we had 27 people interested in kickboxing, and we want to divide by the modified divisor, the 20. It says 1.35. So 27 divided by 20 gave us 1.35. But again, in the Jefferson method, we have to round down, so it's going to be 1. Yoga, we've got 16 divided by 20. Well, that's going to be 0, isn't it? So 16 divided by 20, 0.8. So that's going to have to go down to 0. And then spinning, 2 out of 20. Again, we're going to have to round down to 0 there. So, because that's really like nothing. So let's see, 2 divided by 20. Like I said, I don't even think this is going to, that's just like 0.1. That's got a lot of going. So right now to, we have 3 classes that she's got right now based on this method. So 2 plus 1 plus 0 is, she's got now 3 classes. Now, what I need to do is decide what my next modified divisor is. I know that if I lower this just a little bit, that's going to move that up 1, but I need to move it a little bit more to make this one move up 1. So really, I need this to turn into a 2. So to be closer to a two, I need to figure out how much lower do I need to make this become a two. So if I divide 27 in half, that'd be like around 13 or 14. So I'm thinking my modified divisor may need to be dropped down close to, 14 or so. So, so I'm going to modify it down to that because I need to get this up to uh, a two. So really, I'm thinking maybe a 13 actually. So to see if I modify it too much. So I'm gonna modify it to a 13 and see if I overcooked it. Well, yeah, well, because this point 0.8 here, I probably overcooked it there. So I don't need that much there for that one. So let's back up here because to get, to get to a one, we just need to raise that up to like a little bit more. So let's try, I don't know, uh, 13 just seemed to be a little bit too much. So let's jump it up a little bit. Let's go to 16. We'll drop it down some and just see if my first instinct is right. Uh, but yeah, 16 divided by 16 does give me a 1, doesn't it? So I'm liking that actually now. So that does move this one up to a 1. But does that overcook it? So let's see here. So we're now going to do 59 divided by 16. So 59 divided by 16 gives me 3.6. So that's going to move up to a 3. So we gained a seat there. So if we do the kickboxing, if we do 27 divided by 16, that's 1.68. So that remains as a 1. But now if I look at yoga, that's going to be now 16 divided by 16. So 16 divided by 16 gives me a 1. So then this is going to be 2 divided by 16, which is still not going anywhere. So 2 divided by 16 gives me 0.125. So that's going to go back to 0. So notice how, because we're rounding down, I needed to move the divisor enough to make these numbers go up another whole number. Since this one's already right there at it, I know I don't need to do much there. But then if we look at down here at the point 0.8, we kind of saw that to make it move to the next whole number, we know that if there's a 16 on the top, I need a 16 on the bottom, and that would make that move up to a 1 as well. So that looks like that's done. At 3 plus 1 is 5. So we're saying we have 3 Pilates classes, 1 kickboxing class, and 1 yoga class, and 0 spinning classes. Spinning was not popular. Again, spinning it's more intense. I believe that's where you're on a bike, little bikes and just paddling yourself away. It's a hard course. So, uh, but it can be very popular in some areas. But here, we're seeing, you know, these top 3 were the ones that were interested in. Yeah, it does make sense to have 3 Pilates classes, and then it looks like one of each of these makes sense too. Uh, so the Jefferson method, does that. You can close the video at this point if you want, but I'm kind of curious if I did the if I did the Hamilton method, I would be kind of curious to see what the uh, apportionment would be. So You feel free to shut off here and move on, but I'm just going to talk a little bit more and look at this apportionment with the Hamilton's method. So again, if we look, our see if I can find my standard divisor up here. So our standard divisor, it was 20.8. So notice how here we got our, in the Hamilton method, it looks like all these numbers are still accurate. So we really don't have to do a whole lot of math, but in the Hamilton's method, let me go ahead and just put that over here. We start to see right off the bat in Hamilton, we have 2, 1, 0, 0. It kind of does the same thing as Jefferson's. So we have two Pilates, one kickboxing, but this says yoga none, spinning none. Now, if I look at the next number in the Hamilton method, the 9 would say add on another class here. So that would give me 3 Pilates. But then if I look down here, the next highest rounding would be yoga. So the yoga would round up to 1. So notice that the Hamlin method would also do 3, 1, 1 as well. So both methods would give me the same thing, 3 Pilates, 1 kickboxing, and 1 yoga. But notice that the Hamilton method did not require as much thinking with that modified divisor as the Jefferson method did. So I'll stop there. So if you did follow up here, mention it to me in a text that in this question, I believe we were doing question number 5 in 15.3. If you want to text me and you can say, hey, the Hamilton method and the Jefferson method produce the same result, and I'll add again 5 points to this assignment.